In this sponsored tutorial, I'm going to show you the Quiz and Survey Master plugin, which will help you create quizzes and surveys. And I'm going to show you how to use them to create personalized responses. For example, we're going to create a survey about exercise. Each question answer is going to be assigned a score. Based on the score they have at the end of the quiz, they're going to see different results pages. They're going to see the information about their quiz, but they're going to receive a personalized message from us based on what their score is, which is hugely powerful because it allows you to communicate with your visitor or your customer at whatever level they're on at that moment. So as a quick demo, this is our quiz right here. This is what we're building. Welcome to your exercise quiz. Please enter your email address to get started. Click on next. They choose some answers. Click on next. And they choose some more answers. Click on submit. And the results pop up right here. And this is all dynamically generated. This text we can customize for the specific results page because this page is specific to their score. Here we say your score was 2, which is not great, but I like to be encouraging. So I say you're doing great. Here are some resources to help you do better. And so we know that person scored at that level. And we can give them resources specific to people on that level and help them progress to higher levels. And I can guarantee whatever niche you are in or your clients are in, you can create surveys like this with personalized responses based on scores in quizzes and surveys and meet them at their level and provide them with information that helps them progress to their next level, whatever that is, whatever niche you're in. And the Quiz and Survey Master plugin also allows you to connect with CRMs. That is a paid option. There's paid add-ons. I'm going to show you the free version of the plugin. Then I'm going to show you what kinds of add-ons you can get to make it even more powerful, including integrating with email autoresponders and Zapier and Google Sheets and a bunch of others. If you have any questions or comments throughout this video, please leave them down below. I try to answer them the best I can. My name is Bjorn, all past from WP Learning Lab, where we help you get better WordPress so you can earn more for yourself, for your customers, and for your business. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you click subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss any future videos. And now let's get started. To get started, the first thing we want to do is install the Quiz and Survey Master plugin, which is what we're going to use to create the surveys. So let's go into the dashboard and let's go to plugins and then add new and look up Quiz and Survey Master. The only one is this one right here, 30,000 active installs, 5 out of 5 stars for almost 900 ratings, which is pretty awesome. Compatible with the current version of WordPress, everything looks great. If you are installing this on a live website, I recommend you back up your site first because you never know what's going to happen. It's best to have a backup that you can revert back to. I have a link to the tutorial in the description down below to help you back up your site if you need help with that. Click on Install Now whenever you're ready, then click on Activate. And here you can choose to allow anonymous tracking of what you do with the plugin so that your developers can improve it. You can click here to read about what that means. You can choose allow or don't allow, and then either help them or don't help them with tracking. And now the plugin's installed, and there's a new menu option on the left called Quiz and Survey Master. The free version of the plugin does a lot. And what is paid is add-ons that you can extend the functionality of the plugin with. I'm going to get into the add-ons a little later. First, I'll show you how to create a quiz with the free version and how to use the free version, because most of the time the free version is all you need. But if you need some extra power, the add-ons are always there to add on whenever you need to. And so first, what we're going to do is create a quiz, and then we'll go through the other options and settings because it really makes more sense to see the other options and settings after that. So I'm going to click on Quizzes/Surveys. I'm going to click on Create New Quiz. And I'm going to enter the quiz name. Let's call this the exercise quiz because our website template is fitness and exercise. So it's going to be a little quiz about exercise. You can choose to start from scratch. You can choose a simple quiz template, a time-based quiz, or a survey. I'm going to choose a quiz in this case. I'm going to keep the form type as a quiz. I'm going to require user login, no. So anybody who visits the site can do this quiz. Force submit will auto-submit the quiz after a certain amount of time. You can choose that to be yes or no. There are some recommended add-ons. We'll get into these later. Like I said, there's a whole bunch more, not just these two. There's a whole bunch of add-ons. We'll get into those later. Click on Create Quiz. And this is the quiz dashboard. This is where we create the quiz and do all the options and settings related to that specific quiz, all in these tabs that you see here. We're going to start by adding questions and creating an actual quiz, and we'll go through what these are after that. So the first question will be, how many minutes per day on average do you exercise? And I want to have the answers as a multiple choice. On the right-hand side, we have a question type option. It's currently set to vertical multiple choice, and there's a whole bunch of other options that you can read through here. They're all pretty self-explanatory when you just read the name of them. And the vertical multiple choice is the one we're sticking with. And for my answers, I'm going to have 0, 15, 30, and 60. So those are my options. I'm not going to choose correct here because none of these is actually correct. It's just how many are you doing? How many minutes of exercise are you doing? If you are doing a multiple choice quiz where there's an actual right or wrong answer, or one right answer, multiple wrong answers, you would choose the one which is correct from this list here. Just click the checkbox and that'll set that one as correct, and that will tally the results at the end of the quiz and provide a score. In this case, there's no real wrong answer because it's just how many minutes of exercise do you do on average. And I guess 0 minutes per day on average is a wrong answer, but I'm not going to mark it as such. Then I'm going to click on Save Question. Then I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to create a new question. This question will be, what type of exercise do you normally do in any given week? I want this to be vertical multiple choice as well. And I'm going to have the first one be light cardio or walking. The second one is going to be moderate cardio, gentle bike ride or run. The third one's going to be heavy cardio, high intensity interval training as an example. And for some people, they do all of these in a week, but you only choose one in this example we're building here. So I'm going to add a description. That description is going to say, if you do more than one of these in any given week, choose the most intense one that you do. And then it's choose the most intense one. Save question. Now we're going to add a new question. You probably get the gist of how this works by now. So we're just going to add one more question. I'm going to call this, or make the question, what types of non-cardio exercise do you do? And for this one, I want them to be able to choose more than one response. I'm going to change the question type from vertical multiple choice to multiple response. And the first one is going to be weights. Second one will be calisthenics. And the third one will be yoga. And again, none of these are correct. They just pick one or pick multiple, what they do in a given week. And that's awesome. I'm going to click on Save Question again. And now our quiz is done. We're not going to make a crazy long quiz for this example. We just have 3 questions and that's good enough. And right now, the way this is set up, all these questions are on one page called page 1. And these are our questions right here. If we want to edit them, we click on the pencil and we can go ahead and edit them. We can duplicate the questions or we can trash the questions. We can also rearrange them. If I want to have this question first, I just click and drag, and now that question is number 1. If I want to split these onto different pages, I can add another page by clicking on Create New Page, and it creates a page 2. I can just click and drag this question onto page 2. We can also change the name of the page if we want to by clicking on the gear icon, enter a page name here. We can hide the previous button so people can't go back to change their answers. And I also want to make my answers required, which I didn't do, but there is a checkbox in all of these called required. So I'm going to check that box for all of these and save them again so they're all required. There we go. And if you have lots of questions, or if maybe you have some kind of e-learning site and you're providing testing for that, quizzes for that, you can add categories to keep your questions organized. These categories are specific to your survey and quiz questions, so you can keep them all organized, like I said. And that didn't save, so I'm going to save that required option again. And you could also have a comment field. This is for people leaving comments on the quiz itself. If you want to have that, you can have a small text field or a large text field, and they can fill in any kind of comments they want to. And there's a correct answer info box right here. This information that you put into here will be provided to the person at the end of the quiz, giving a detailed explanation about why a specific answer was correct for a specific question. We also have the ability to add a hint, which will be displayed on the page where the question is, to give them a hint and help them find the right answer if you want to do that. And these little page icons, that takes you to a documentation page that gives you information about that specific field. Here is the comment field information right here. And all these options do have these pages, or a lot of them do. And if you have any, or if you're wondering about all these question types, for example, what they all are, click on this page icon, and that'll give you more information about the question types. Another awesome feature, add question from question bank. We've created 3 questions so far. We see them all right here. And let's say I wanted to do another quiz, also about exercise, and this question right here works on the other quiz as well. I can go into the question bank, and I can just choose that question and click on Add Question. And that will add the question to the quiz. And we see it added at the very bottom here. I already have that in this quiz, so I don't want to keep it here, but that is how easily you can add questions to other quizzes and surveys from the question bank right over here. going to click on the red trash can to erase that. And our quiz questions are done. But there's something else I want to do. Even though we didn't set right or wrong answers by choosing the correct option, I do want to have the ability to give a score. And at the end, we can display information specific to different score levels. So let's say you have someone who comes along and fills out this quiz and it's clear they haven't exercised a day in their lives. You want to give them a certain resource or certain information to help them start exercising. Then you have someone come along and it's clear they exercise every single day. You wouldn't want to give them the same information as you do to the person that never exercises. So you can have scoring help you determine who fits into which bucket and then give them appropriate resources. You can turn on the scoring by going to the options and choosing points. You can also have both. If you have a quiz where you want to have correct and incorrect, choose both. I want to have just points in this case. We'll get in these other options later. I just want to check that, save it, and apply the scoring. And then we're going to see how that actually works to segment the users. So let's click on this pencil, and I'm going to give each of these a score. As you can see, our correct option's gone. We now have point fields here. So for 0, I'm going to give 0 points. For 15, I'm going to give 1 point. 30, I'll give 2. 60, I'll give 3. Save question. If you don't click Save Question, it will not save. So after every question edit you make, you have to click on Save. Light cardio, I'll give a score of 1, 2, and 3, just like that. And then for this one, I'll give a score of, make all of these 1. And giving these all the same score makes sense because they can choose more than one. So if someone comes in, they do only weights, then they only get 1 point. But if they do all 3, they get 3 points. And so they'll be in a different bucket because they do more varying types of exercises. This isn't perfect because you could say, a person who selects all 3 might do all 3 for 10 minutes each. But the person who does calisthenics might be doing calisthenics for 5 hours a day. So clearly their exercise benefit will be much higher than the one who does 3, and they get less points for it. So it's not perfect. Quizzes usually aren't perfect, but we do our best with them. Now when someone fills it out, they're going to have a score. And what we have to do now is set the different types of content for that score. In the email tab, we're able to add emails based on conditions. So we have 2 emails set up here. One goes to the user. We're going to have an email field where they can fill in their email address, or if they're logged in, we'll have their email address associated with their account. But this will be sent to their email using this special dynamic code. It's going to fill in all the answers. There are a lot of different dynamic codes you can use. Click on the Insert Template Variables down at the bottom, and here are all of them that you can use. They all make intuitive sense. If it's not entirely clear what they are, click on the question mark or hover over it. It'll tell you what they are. Let's close that. The second email that's set up by default goes to everybody, goes to me, not everybody, goes to me, and it has the same stuff in it. So one email goes to the user, one email goes to the website owner, and you can choose to keep those or not. It's up to you. You can also add more. So I'm going to add a new email. And this email, as you can see, we have now 1, 2, 3 emails. This one will have a condition. The condition was auto-added. You can click this trash can to remove it if you want. Click on additional condition if you want to add one. I'm going to choose total points scored. And if your total points are equal to 0, we're going to have a specific type of message sent to you. So it's going to go to the user emails, going to be the results of your quiz. It's going to say, here are your answers. Your score was, let's see, point score right here. Score for the quiz when using points. That's copied to the clipboard, paste it in here. It's going to say your score was 0 in this case. And we're going to have a little call to action. We have a bit of work to do. Here are some resources to help you get started with exercising. This is where you add your resources. You have whatever kind of message you want, trying to help motivate the person who doesn't exercise to get them to exercise, or to find out why. Some people can't. I herniated a disc in my back, and there's no way I was exercising a week after I herniated my disc. So they might just not be exercising based on something in life, so you don't want to necessarily force these resources down their throat, and they actually can't exercise for whatever reason. Click on Save Emails, and now they're all saved. I'm going to add a new one. I'm going to choose a point score of greater than or equal to 1 and point score of less than or equal to 3. This will be our second bucket. This is the person who exercises a little bit. And so we have the same email message. Not the same, but similar. So we'll have your point score was whatever it is, between 1 and 3, or 1, 2, or 3. And the text I want to have in here is, you're doing great. Here are some resources to help you do better. Let's save. It's always good to save as you're working. Now the last one, it's going to have 3 buckets. Point score is greater than 3. So this is less than or equal to 3. And this will be greater than 3. So not equal to, but greater than. And so now we have 3 buckets. We have the 0 bucket, the 1, 2, and 3 bucket, and the above 3 bucket. You could also have this be greater than or equal to 4, if that makes more sense to you. And then for this, we're going to add point score. And the message will be, you're doing awesome, keep it up. Not really a call to action. Click on Save Emails, and now we have those emails saved. And those will go out to these specific categories of people, which is pretty slick. And there's a results page that's displayed after you finish the quiz. You can customize that under results pages, and you can set that up with similar conditions, or ideally the same conditions. And you can have, and this is the text that will be displayed on the page, and you can just copy from the emails. So for the 0 points earned email, I'll just add this text in. No, I'll do it like this. So it's not the exact same, it's kind of similar. Thank you for submitting a response. Your score is 0, and then it's the rest, or the same message as the email after that. The condition, set the same condition, is equal to 0. And I'm going to set up another results page for the other 2 buckets. And I'll just fast forward it because I think you get the idea. And always make sure you save the results pages, otherwise they won't be saved. There we go. Now we have our results pages set up, which they'll see right after they finish the survey or the quiz, and they will be split into these buckets as well. We're going to test that in just one moment. First, one last thing. You can also add a URL to redirect to. So instead of having a message in here, you could send them to a specific page you'd created for people who rank in these buckets if you wanted to. That's an option. Each of these results pages have their own URL. They will all be redirected separately. So now to add this to a page, you can add it to Gutenberg blog posts, for example. Let's just go to posts and then add new. And let's call this exercise quiz. Click on the plus icon, look up QSM, short for Quiz Survey Master. Here we have a QSM block. We have to add our quiz or survey ID. So let's go back to our Quiz and Survey Master plugin options here, and let's click on Edit. And we see the ID right up here is just 1. If you are on the list of quizzes, you can also see the ID in the bottom left corner of the website because you see the URL there. So the quiz ID is 1, so just add the number 1 in here, and this will pull in our quiz. Click on Save Draft, click on Preview, and we have our quiz set up. There's the first page, which we're going to add an email request box to in a moment, and we have our questions that you can go through, and then we can choose some answers. Let's choose 15, light cardio, calisthenics, and yoga, and then submit. And here is the message we put on the results page text box. And then this is the answers that are dynamically input. It shows which answer we added, what the correct answer was, comments entered, those are not applicable, but those still show up there. Then it shows our message down here. Your score was 4. You're doing awesome. Keep it up. So this was our best bucket. Doesn't take much to get in our best bucket because you got 1 point for this one, 1 point for this, and 2 points here, calisthenics and yoga. And so we're in the top bucket. If you find people are getting into your top bucket too easily, you might want to just arrange the requirements to get into that top bucket. So this is our customized page. Now let's go back and not score so well. Let's try this again. Just reload the page, click on next. Let's choose 0. This will be 1 point, and this will be 1 point. That should put us in the second bucket. And here it says your score was 2. You're doing great. Here's some more resources to help you do better. And so we're in the second bucket. Right now there are no emails being sent to me because I have not entered an email address. But that is our survey. We can also add this survey to anywhere we want. It doesn't have to be on a Gutenberg page. If we go to our survey list here under Quiz Survey Master Quizzes and Surveys, we have a shortcode. Click on the little eyeball. We can copy the shortcode. And we can do something like go into Elementor. So let's go to Elementor, our home page. Click on Edit with Elementor. And maybe we want the quiz to show up, I don't know, maybe right here. Put it right front and center. So let's put a shortcode in there, put the quiz in there. And in here, let's say, fill out this awesome quiz and receive personalized advice. Update the page, preview the page, and this is the quiz just like we saw before. And you can fill it out the exact same way, and the results will be displayed on this area as well. And here are the results, just like we saw a moment ago. And that's it. That's the quiz on a page builder. And so that is how we create and add quizzes. It's a simple quiz, but you get the idea of how it all works just using that simple quiz. If we go back to our quizzes and surveys, and before we look at the results of a quiz, let's go back to edit the quiz and look at these other options up here. We have our contact option. We can add a new field. This will allow us to collect an email address. So we want to have email field. Label, please enter your email address. Used for email and is required. And then save contact fields. Now if I go back out to the quiz, any version of it on the page builder or on the regular website, we now have an email field. You have to enter the email address, then click on next, then go through the quiz, and then they'll be emailed the results of their quiz. So that's the contact tab. The text tab allows you to have all kinds of customized messages based on conditions. So this message, welcome to your quiz name, which we see at the top right here, welcome to your exercise quiz. This message is customized right here, and it's displayed before quiz. You can also have messages displayed before comments box if those are enabled. Messages displayed at the end of the quiz. If the user has tried the quiz too many times, if the user is not logged in and the quiz requires to be logged in. And all these options allow you to add messages for those specific circumstances. And we also have the ability to change the quiz labels. So if you were doing this in a different language, you could change the submit button to whatever the submit text would be in your language. Same for previous, next, validation messages. You can change all those to be your specific language. Under the options tab, we have more options. We saw the points option already. The quiz type we chose when we first created the quiz. You can also change it midstream. You can show a progress bar, use your logged in option, number of questions per page. You can automatically create pages. So we created a page manually and put a question on it. But maybe you have 1,000 questions in one quiz and you don't want to go and manually paginate them. You can do that right here. Add 10 into this box and then it'll be 10 questions per page. You can also have a time limit if you want. You can force submit after the time expires. And all these options are pretty self-explanatory just by the name. If they're not, there's a little question box that explains those options for you. You can also have quizzes that run on specific dates. Maybe you have a Christmas quiz or a Valentine's Day quiz. You can have the dates, and these are specified for this specific quiz only. Other quizzes and surveys can have different dates and time frames. You can randomize the questions and a lot of other options. And all of these are pretty self-explanatory, like I said. And if they're not, there's a little question mark that you can hover over. The emails we saw already when we created the emails for our different buckets. The results pages we saw as well. All these pages have a view documentation button in case you need more help. The style bucket allows us to style the quiz. There's preset options for styling, and you can also add your own custom CSS right here. And let's go back to the main quizzes and surveys area where our quiz list is. We have a view results button. Let's click on there. Because I filled out the quiz 3 times already, apparently, it shows that information right here. I have not filled it out yet while having an email address entered. So let's do that one time so we can see how that works. Let's go to next. Let's choose these options right here. And that should put us in the top bucket. Our score was 7. I'm doing awesome. Let's refresh the results page. And here now we have the email address entered here. And so we would have received an email to this domain if my local site here was sending out emails, but the email will be just like we created inside of those settings that we set earlier. And before we go on into other settings for this plugin, I want to tell you about the add-ons because they really take your surveys to the next level. The way it's set up right now, we collect all the data inside of WordPress, and that's fine. But we can also connect to autoresponders, we can connect to CRMs, we can connect to Google Sheets so that we can use our data and our contacts more efficiently. If we click on add-on settings in the bottom left down here, we see the add-ons list. And there are quite a few of them. There are 40 add-ons available. Click on browse all add-ons to take you to their website, and you can browse through all of them, what they cost. Sometimes they go on sale, as we can see right here, on sale add-ons. Currently one's on sale, sync with Google Sheets, and you can see them all right here. Integrating with your CRMs is powerful because you could also have these buckets in your CRMs and send out customized email sequences based on how people fill out their surveys and what scores they receive on their surveys or quizzes. You can have payment integration, you can have reCAPTCHA to reduce spam, you can have URL parameters to help you customize results pages as well. You can have pop-ups, flashcards, integration with Google Analytics, have leaderboards, say for an e-learning website, certificates. There's a Zapier integration which connects with, I think, over 1,000 other apps now. Gradebook for schooling and e-learning. There's a whole lot you can do with this quiz and survey plugin, and the add-ons just make it that much more powerful. And you can also get a free add-on. Click on the Get a Free Add-on link, fill in your email address, and you get a free add-on. I don't know which add-on it is, but you get a free one. Maybe you get to choose. I'm not sure. But you get a free add-on there. There's a stats tab. This tab will show you the cumulative results for your entire site. So right now we have this many quiz submissions, 4 in total. You can choose to display daily, weekly, or monthly, and that's the stats tab. So this is for the whole site. The stats we saw earlier, the results, were specific to that one quiz. This is for your entire site. We also have a tools page, and this shows you activity on your site. So this is what people are doing in the admin section. For example, settings have been edited by Bjorn. A new quiz survey has been created by Bjorn. And so it shows a history of things that are happening on your site. You can also restore a quiz if it gets deleted for whatever reason. And if you want to have the add-ons or you want more information about the Quiz and Survey Master plugin, go to their website. It's linked to in the description down below, or you can just go to quizandsurveymaster.com. And if you want to buy multiple add-ons, it adds up pretty quick because they're $20, $29, $35, $35, $25. It adds up pretty quick. So you might want to just get a bundle. On the pricing page, they have the ability to buy bundles for $129, which is the price of a handful of $35 add-ons. You can install all the add-ons on unlimited websites. You get all the add-ons in the starter bundle, all integrations, and you know how to read. You can read through that. And new add-ons are automatically included. And you can also go for the cheaper one, which is the starter bundle itself. It lists which add-ons you can use on just one site, and then this $129 will be all the add-ons in the starter bundle plus everything else. So $129 is everything. And so if you like the Quiz and Survey Master plugin, I definitely encourage you to check it out. Even if you just use the free version, it is powerful. Now that you've created your quiz with the Quiz and Survey Master plugin, check out this video right here where I show you how to set up your MailChimp account. one of the premium add-ons that the Quiz and Survey Master plugin offers is MailChimp integration. And with this account created over at MailChimp, you can email directly from MailChimp to your contacts that you generate through your quizzes and surveys. So check that out, and also make sure you click subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss any future videos. My name is Bjorn Allpass from WP Learning Lab. Until next time, keep crushing it, and I will see you in the next video.